Hi, I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach parenting and good communication skills all over the world through the lens of self-government. And in this video, I'm going to be talking about how to do daily parent mental self-care. When you're a parent, life can be really draining and overwhelming. There was a woman actually that came to me recently at a conference in California, and she said, Nicholeen, you know what you really need to do is you need to create like a whole training or a video or something on self-care. She's like, we just get going and sometimes we forget to do the basic things for ourselves. And I know that absolutely can happen. So in this video, I'm going to be talking about self-care and what we need to know about it, and then share with you some ideas of things that you can do to help with your mental self-care. There are different kinds of self-care. There's physical self-care, emotional self-care, mental self-care, spiritual self-care. In this video, I'm focusing on mental self-care, which is going to relate some to the spiritual and the emotional as well. But the thoughts that you have and the things that you choose to think about and how you interact with other people can actually help you either mentally do well or can be detrimental to you mentally. And I know that parents get stretched thin mentally. They're solving all kinds of problems emotionally and physically with their families throughout the day, and it can be difficult. I remember that when I was doing treatment foster care for troubled teens, plus I had my own children and they were toddlers, there would be many days where I would actually forget to even eat. I would just be going along and I'd start thinking, how come I'm so, shaky? And then I would say, oh, I think I didn't eat today. That could make a difference. And so I wasn't taking care of myself. We do need to make sure that we take some simple steps to take care of ourselves. When a person remembers to do just a little bit of self-care, it can actually go a long way. I remember when I was a young mom, I had a friend and she said to me, Nicholeen, it's going to get crazy. I think I was having child number 3 at the time. And she said, I've always had a rule for myself. As long as I get a shower and I make my bed, then I tell myself that I will have a good day, that everything will be fine. And I didn't really know why she would have such a low bar for herself. I mean, a shower and making bed. Then I had child number 3. And I went, you know what? I just need to have a shower and make my bed. If I can have a shower and make my bed, then it will all be fine. So one of the key things that I did to make sure that I could get a shower and make my bed was I decided to wake up earlier. I know that can be hard to fit in sometimes, but it really proved to be important for my mental self-care. If I could just wake up 30 minutes earlier so that I could get that shower and make my bed, then mentally I would be ready for the day. I felt like I had done something for myself. I could walk into my room and there would be one room in the house that looked like it was organized and put together. It might just be that you need to think of something simple like that. If you are in some of those crazy stages of motherhood or fatherhood where there are a lot of little children that need constant help with just the most simple basic things like getting dressed and going to the bathroom and going to bed and all of those things, sometimes that can be really draining. So make sure you get yourself a shower every day. Just do it. Even if you don't use soap, just get in there and be in the shower every single day. It's important to feel refreshed. I have a lot more ideas for you for self-care, and we're going to go through that list. But before we do, click on the subscribe button now. There are a lot of great videos on this channel that can make your life easier, can help all of your communications, and can help you have better self-government. So click on subscribe now, and don't forget that notification bell to make sure that you don't miss out on new videos when they come out. Early on, like I mentioned, I learned to shower and make my bed, but I also developed this habit of sharpening the saw first thing in the morning. I know for some people who aren't morning people, this could seem really hard. Now, the thing about me is I can be a morning person, but I also can be a night person. So I decided, would I rather have my nights or would I rather have my mornings? Sometimes I have to admit I took both, because sometimes I would get study in the night that I couldn't fit in the day or in the morning. But I did find key times throughout the day to sharpen my saw, and I feel like that's important. So what sharpens your saw? Hopefully it's something that is productive. Sometimes we do things that are nice for ourselves, like get our nails done or, eat a treat or something like that. And while those are nice things, those don't sharpen the saw for most people as much as purposeful living does. So exercise, study, discussion with a person, those are all things that usually sharpen the saw more than just eating sugar. And by the way, they're better for the waistline. So pick something that you feel like will give you purpose, and that's going to probably be your best saw sharpening technique to incorporate into your day. So what I did when I was a young mom and was in the busy throes of homeschooling my children, having treatment foster children, keeping up with running a garden, growing food, cooking food from scratch, and trying to do some of my own community service in other areas at my church and otherwise, I was busy. I decided that I was going to have key times of the day where I would sharpen the saw. The first thing I did was wake up early. This was hard, but I told myself if I can win that first battle of the day and get out of bed, then it would all be better. So I decided to start waking up every day around 5 or 5:30 in the morning. And then I left the house. I actually gave myself a responsibility, so I got a little job teaching water aerobics over at the city pool. And teaching the water aerobics proved to be just the thing that I needed, because it made me have to leave. I had to sharpen the saw and get exercise. And while I was there, I would talk to other people in the class too. And before I came home, I would do a certain amount of study time and oftentimes even go grocery shopping. So you wake up 5 a.m., I go teach a 6 a.m. class. At 7 a.m., I shower at the pool, get dressed and ready for the day. Then I went to my car or to a picnic table in the pool area, and I would study for like an hour or an hour and a half, sometimes pick up a gallon of milk or a couple of groceries, make it home by 9 o'clock, which was when my husband needed to leave for work. He would get the children up, get them fed and dressed and going for the day. And starting at 9 a.m., I would start doing school. And I was refreshed and ready. See if there's a way that you can fit in something like that. Now, I had a friend who said, my time is from 7 to 9 every night. My husband plays with the children and does things with them during that time from 7 to 9, and I plan the next day's school day. There were some times where I did that too, but most of the time I did my planning in the morning. Your planning does not have to take a long time or be difficult, but just pick out a couple of things that you want to do in the day. So maybe say to yourself, I want to read a story to the children and teach them how to do hopscotch. And so then you're going to have chalk and you're going to go outside and do hopscotch. This is another thing. Do fun things with your family. If you don't have fun doing the types of fun that you want to do, then they won't have fun with you either. Whether you're homeschooling or not, you should do things that you enjoy with the family. Something that you can look forward to, whether it's making your favorite cookies with them or whether it's doing a little house cleaning and inviting them to be part of it. Do something that you enjoy, but try to do something that makes fun memories too, because then you'll want to take a picture and you'll make sure that you remind yourself how great your life is. Another thing that I did every day to make sure that I helped myself mentally was I would have the children have a rest time during the day or some sort of independent study time if they were a little bit older. During that time, I did a little bit of my independent study. So I would study in the morning, study during independent study time, and oftentimes study a little bit in the evening too. So that gave me 3 opportunities to take a break and sharpen the saw. Study time did that for me. If I could read a good book, write a paper, or work on a presentation or a book I was writing for someone else, that made me feel like I was living with purpose. It really is the purposeful living that helps you feel the most refreshed. Another thing I did is I set up a Mother's Day to happen once a month. So I asked my husband, or sometimes even my mom, if my husband was busy, if they would watch the children for one whole day. And I would go out, and I would go out to breakfast. I would go scrapbooking the entire day long, and then I would go out to lunch with whoever I was with, usually my sisters, and then scrapbook some more, have dinner, and then come home and be with my children in the evening. I was so ready to see the children at that time. I was so energized because I had some time to work on something for me. But it wasn't just for me. It was a creative outlet, but it served the whole family. It was something that I had to show for my time too. So it was a little bit more purposeful work, not just something to make me feel like I had a little bit of pleasure. So find something, again, purposeful. See if you can have one day a month, and you'll be surprised about how much energy that gives you for all of the rest of your days. There is nothing that drains a mother's brain more than figuring out which food she needs to make that day. So one thing I did was I decided that by 11 I would have planned what I was going to make for the day. That freed me up, and if I needed to cut up some things for that night's dinner or put something in a crock pot, I would just make sure I did it by 11 a.m. so that dinner prep was always easy. Another thing I did was invite the children to make dinner with me later on. This was better too, so I could teach them something and then not have to have all of that resting on me as well. Now here is a tip that you might not think of as mental self-care, but it is. Looking people in the eyes when you talk to them. Looking into their hearts and remembering how much they matter to you. When you look at someone in the eyes, you connect deeply with them. Connecting with them actually improves your mental state. Just try it. In fact, today, just go right after you watch this video, find someone, have a conversation with them, and look at them in the eyes for at least 15 seconds. Another thing that helps your mental state is being grateful. So, expressing gratitude to others through praise or expressing gratitude to yourself by making a gratitude list in the day actually helps you have a better day. You can choose to be happy. You can choose to be grateful, which actually decreases your mental strain. You will have a lot more emotional energy if you're looking for the good. The other day, I was driving down the road with one of my colleagues. We found out that we were going to possibly be late for a speaking event that I was going to be at. I was one of the main speakers at the event. I had to be there on time. Some of my packages were lost by FedEx, which didn't usually happen, but it happened there. I had lost packages, and we're driving further away than we thought we had to. The traffic was bad, and I was going to be late. And I'm driving down the road and I see this tree in California in full bloom. And I said to my colleague, "Wow, look at the pretty blossoms on that tree. That's so beautiful." And she said, "Did you really just appreciate a tree when we're not going to make it on time? You took the time to appreciate that?" She said, "That amazes me." And I said, "Well, I've just trained myself to look for the good things, the happy things, to find the God moments in life. Because to me, I feel like God shows me all the time all the good things, even if other things are happening that are outside of my control." So be grateful. Make a list of things you're grateful for. Teach yourself to notice things you're grateful for, and you will have a lot more mental and emotional energy. Another tip that many people share with self-care, which really does work, is keeping a journal, and keep the type of journal that's positive. List the things you did that day that you want everyone to remember as your life story. Make the life story that you want to share with the world, which hopefully is one of optimism and overcoming instead of one that is depressed. I know we can have down moments, but let's focus on how we can overcome. Put those things in our journal, and that makes everything better. Finally, calmness. Do you know how to be calm when someone else isn't? And how to help them get calm without losing your calmness at the same time? Well, if not, I have something for you. I have a calm parenting toolkit that can help you in the moment each day. When things are starting to go out of control or get a little bit crazy, the children are fighting, you can use some of your calm tools so that you can be calm no matter what is happening. That right there is huge self-care. Teach yourself how to be calm no matter what's happening. Get the skills and the tools that you need for calmness. So in the description below this video, there is a link to my Calm Parenting Toolkit, and I would like to give it to you for free. So if you go to the link, which is teachselfgov.com/toolkit, you can have my 10-lesson Calm Parenting Toolkit for free. Click on that link now, and I will see you there.